No.
It keeps me in character.
Sorry, I'm
I'm
sorting
a bit of a
out.
handful. Sorry.
So last time we had our two somewhat new Jaeger pilots up in the Anchorage Shadow Dome. Yeah, you've only taken down a kaiju or two. Up in the...
How many have you taken down?
I've made my own. They took down a kaiju by the name of Mikage, right on the outskirts of a town in Homer, or the town of Homer, Alaska, before it
I don't
got
think we asked
to...
his name first.
Yeah, right. Before it got to the mainland of Anchorage. And then they had some fun after they moved down to LA to the freshly opened Shadow Dome, where they saved a young Makamori. And they met some shady characters that wanted to sell them some kaiju bone powder. But we picked back up. A few weeks have gone by. The Shadow
With a wife
Dome.
like that.
The Shadow Dome is still continuing on in daily routines, repairs to the Jaegers, training, whatnot. What are you two up to?
Well, aside
You
from
sure
just
you want
finishing
to
the
ask
obvious,
that?
yeah.
Not really,
Two.
but... Two what?
2 eye rolls.
Oh, are we counting now? Counting Nitro's eye rolls now, right?
Yeah. What time of day is it?
It's probably just midday. Middle, probably early or late week, like Thursday, Friday.
Is it?
Flipping late.
Oh, Thursday, Friday, not
Into the mess
Tuesday, so we
hall.
can't go for coffee.
Why can't we go for coffee on Thursday or Friday?
That's an
I insist
inside
on
joke.
coffee every single day. You don't want to be around me without coffee.
Agreed. Let's go to the mess hall for coffee.
And French fries.
And then sex after.
Make it to the mess hall.
We just did that.
Obviously, the crews of different teams are all about getting food, getting lunch, coffee. At one of the tables off to one of the sides of the cafeteria, there you see Marshal Dustin kind of sitting and having lunch with a few JTAC officers. Nicholas is there as well. They're kind of just keeping up on the tasks of what the different teams should be working on and whatnot. What do you wish to do?
Should we go and eavesdrop on the team?
I like that idea.
Do you want to actually eavesdrop, or do you want to go join the conversation?
Let's cautiously approach, slowly at first, see if we can catch wind of their conversation to know if it's worth eavesdropping on before.
Okay. I was trying to see if any of your skills pertain to a role that I would have to make you make. But I guess not.
Face to face.
You're gonna punch the info out of them stealthily.
The information out of the air.
Yeah. Sir, do you know why Jake is punching the air over there? Yeah, you kind of wander over, and Nicholas and Dustin are kind of not in super hushed tones, but they clearly aren't trying not to talk very loud. speaking about how, we need to figure out ways to get more people behind the Jaeger program and show the world that it's still as great as they thought it was when it was first created. Just mulling over different ideas to try and get public ire back towards you guys.
Should we just sit by them and interrupt the conversation rather than say we could just release a sex tape? That always works.
You say that behind them without really keeping your voice.
Dustin hears you say something. Mr. and Miss Steele, please come sit down. You're more than happy to have you. And as he says that, Nicholas pipes up and is like, "Hey, I'd love to stay and chat, but I've actually got some stuff to work on in my lab, so I'm gonna take off for the day. But you guys enjoy
But
lunch."
Nicholas, it feels like weeks since we've last spoken to you. Come, tell us, I'm the commander, what you've been up to, how you've been. Let's have a conversation with the both of you at the same time.
I'd love to, Jake. I mean, it's really great seeing you. We could get, I don't know, we could sit down and have coffee sometime. I think my,
Tuesdays are good for coffee.
I was gonna say, I think my schedule frees up on Tuesday. I, for some reason, am trying really hard not to go into a voice as I play myself.
Where are you off to? Maybe we can catch up with you after we've spoken with the commander here.
Oh yeah, I'll just be in my workshop, working on various designs. Those Mark IVs aren't going to design themselves,
All right. Well, I'll get my lovely, beautiful, wonderful commander a coffee, and the same for my perfect wife.
Always with your sense of humor, and he rolls off. But, Mr. and Miss Steele, it's good to see you. Glad to have you around.
I'm going to get coffee. I wasn't joking. I'm going to go and get the coffee. This is...
Okay.
You know how I like mine.
What about your coffee?
That too.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Steele, and he kind of gestures to a seat that is free.
I'll take it.
It's been pretty quiet these last few days, so I've been trying to use this time off to think less about the kaiju and more about the last thing that we spoke about.
Try to keep the program going?
Try and figure out what we could do to make people realize that replacing us with a wall isn't really the best option.
I really don't see how anyone can support that idea as it is. How is a wall going to keep kaiju out, and how are they going to build it fast enough?
Who knows, but
it seems like...
It seems like the higher-ups think that a wall, while a huge upfront cost, will be easier to maintain than the Jaeger program. We're practically having to build and repair Jaegers faster than they're being taken out, which is becoming more and more difficult as the days go on.
Come back at this point and say, well, we should just make the kaiju pay for it.
I know you have a really good sense of humor, Jake, but I'd really taking serious suggestions at this point.
Well, it is serious, sir. Why don't we start our own business? Do you know how much kaiju bone powder sells for?
Yeah, about $500 a
Not
pound.
that we bought any.
Or so I've heard.
So you're experienced. But we could just... Why let all these other vultures come in and pick apart kaiju that we kill that should really be ours?
Well, that's actually the fun thing is that card you got me that I was able to give to Marshall Pentecost. He's thinking kind of the same thing. See if we might be able to get a bit of funding for the program, especially over in Hong Kong where they really go crazy for that stuff.
Well,
Is
I'm
funding
glad
the
to
only
help.
issue?
I mean, right now it is. It just seems that public visage of the program is slowly dwindling as seeing our Jaegers lose isn't the best thing for morale. Especially from people that don't really experience it like we do.
I mean, what's the end goal here with a wall anyway? Even if this by some miracle works, are we just going to have a collection of kaiju in the Pacific Ocean?
I don't
True,
really
what will
know.
that do for international commerce?
Yeah.
I mean, you remember back in the day when there was just one tanker that blocked up a canal? Imagine blocking off a whole fucking ocean.
This is 2017, so that hasn't happened yet.
Oh.
Hits.
I appreciate your attempt at a reference, though.
In theory.
You can see how one tanker could block up the canal.
It's true. I mean, every bit of the world's economy is all held up by stilts and duct tape at this point. Who knows what a wall is going to cause? I don't really think that that's what they're concerned about at this point in time.
I mean, why don't we just lure all the kaiju to Australia and let the wildlife on Australia have a free-for-all with the kaiju, and whichever one loses will keep.
Isn't that how they got rabbits?
I mean, have you seen an emu? They're pretty ferocious.
I mean, the Australian military did lose that war against them.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of public opinion, I do have something that you guys could do. Because we need a Jaeger duo to do it. And I think Romeo Blues done it enough that they don't really want to, and they're somewhat busy at the moment anyway. Do you guys
What's
think you might
Romeo
be up
Blue
for...
doing?
They're off training a bit more, seeing what improvements they can make to that Mark 1 before the end of its days.
We're getting
Oh,
rid of
are
that
you ready
fucking...
to do it again already, honey?
We'll be back in an hour.
Yeah.
It takes that long for pizza to be delivered.
Or it's free.
I mean, I think the first order of business to improve Romeo Blue would be to get rid of that fucking fin in front of the fucking cockpit that obscures the view and is there for no actual reason.
You know, I thought the same thing, but Nicholas actually really defends that thing. I don't know why. He says there is a purpose to it, but he uses so much jargon and nonsense to explain it. I don't understand what the purpose of it's for either. But he says it's a good thing, apparently.
using the actual remains of the kaiju as an offensive weapon. Have we experimented with kaiju blue? I mean, there's an awful lot of phosphorus in kaiju blue. Enough to fertilize an entire field. Perhaps it could be used as some sort of fuel source.
I don't know about that, but there's an up and coming one of the guys that they replaced you both with in Alaska to continue their training. I think it was doctor by the name of Gottlieb. He was, other than some crazy mathematical thing he was working on about predicting kaiju appearances, he was working on some kind of fuel source using kaiju blue. Apparently, when it's extracted in a certain way, it can become very combustible. Something about rocket fuel or something? I don't know.
You think if we add red food dye to it, made it kaiju red, it would be even faster?
Doesn't red and blue make purple?
I'm not an artist, I just punch things.
Fair enough. Well, anyway, there's a news interview that they're looking for a couple of Jaeger pilots to do on KNN.
Who are they going to ask for that?
Well, they were hoping to get Romeo Blues duo, but because they're so public facing, but like I said, they've done it so many times that now that they're busy, they don't want to.
Sounds like you're up to shit creek.
Well, then it's a good thing that I outrank you, because I was kind of asking, but it's less of a do you want to do it and more of a can you do it.
No.
Honey, you can do it just fine.
We're back in another hour.
Oh, good, because that's when the cab should be here to pick you up to take you to the studio.
You see, you're very intent on us doing this.
You're the only ones around that can.
Why are we the only ones that can? This could possibly be why the kaiju are winning this war so slowly. If we're the only two Jaeger pilots in the vicinity.
In Los Angeles, yeah.
And what happens if there's a kaiju attack in the middle of the interview? It would take us far too long to get from the studio, suited up, into a Jaeger, and then into the Miracle Mile.
He doesn't like cameras.
Don't worry.
Well, that's not true, honey. I mean, remember those couple of nights?
Jake, what I'm saying is that the Jaeger program could really use this publicity at this point. I mean, there is a reason
Can't
why.
get someone who likes to do this sort of crap?
Unfortunately,
You'll
no.
be just fine. Yes, we can.
I mean, just remember, what are you getting a Jaeger for anyway?
Save the world. Save the cheerleader. Save the world.
Yeah, and while you do that, you inspire a bunch of people out there to hopefully one day do it too if it's not already, if the war is not already over.
Not as inspiring as you expected.
Yeah, I need to work on that. You know, Marshall Pentecost, that guy can give a speech. Anyway, like I said, Cab will be here in an hour. I'll let you two do whatever you need to do in that time. And as soon as you make that look, because I assume you're making that look in character, Shiv, he's just gonna grab his empty food tray and get up and leave.
If I'm doing this, I want to be the man this time.
You mean on TV?
Yes to both.
Come on, we gotta go talk to Nicholas.
But now, fine.
Yeah, you make your way up into the workshop, where Nicholas is currently fiddling over a desk, full of schematics, and there's pencils everywhere, like last time, dented, empty kaiju energy drinks spewing about the place. And he's kind of just mumbling to himself as he's using different instruments of measurement to draw on these intricate blueprints.
What do you think he's got there?
I think even if I looked at it, I wouldn't know.
Should we do the Budapest maneuver?
Budapest was fun. Oh wait, you don't
You
mean
go
that
on the
one.
right. You go on the right, I'll go on the left. We'll keep him in the middle.
I thought we didn't have time for that. Oh wait, yeah. Okay, fine.
Apparently we did, but we wanted to come up here and talk to Nicholas instead.
I take it you're sneaking up behind him.
We're not necessarily sneaking.
Yeah, we're talking. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
In the middle of the mumbling and the audible like pencil scratchings on the paper, you know I can hear you both, right?
It's kind of the point, yeah.
Would you? It's good to see you. What'd you need?
Well, you took off so quick before.
Well, yeah, you know, between my awful sleep schedule and the busy work of the JTech officers here, I kind of don't get many breaks in between getting food and whatnot.
So what you working on?
The schematics were mostly done, so it's not really a lot of my work, but they had me looking over the schematics for this Jaeger, and he holds up a bit of a schematic, and it looks like a typical Jaeger, kind of. It's got one larger left arm. I had to think about which side it was. It has a larger left arm, and then a rather scrawny looking right arm, and then that's when you realize that there's two on the right side. The Chinese Jaeger designers sent this over to me to kind of give a once over.
Hang on. Hong Kong is not China.
The Asian Jaeger designers sent over the designs of this. I don't think it's going to be in production anytime soon, so they're kind of having me do a once over on it. It's the first that I know of its kind where this Jaeger is actually piloted by 3 people. So, kind of have to figure out how that's going to work.
Do you think about adding a third?
Wouldn't be the first time.
In a mech, I mean. The Jaeger.
Oh, that's not as exciting.
I'm not sure if I'd want to do a neural connection with 2 people.
From the sounds of it, there's they're still way in training, so you know they have a long time before they even get to pilot the Jaeger, but apparently they have a set of triplets set up to pilot this one. Kind of makes it a little bit easier.
That explains the neural handshake, because you'd need a very close bond such as that, which would be extremely rare between 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
We usually get out before the morning.
Or kick them out.
Or
But
just check out early. Leave them with the bill. That was a funny time.
But other than working on the schematics, I don't really have anything for you guys unless you're specifically looking for something.
I've just want. You've got here on your notes, Thunderbolt formation. That's a bit strange. Why not Thundercloud formation?
They named it, not me. I unfortunately didn't get to name any of this stuff. I'm just making sure it'll work.
I don't understand it. What's the connection between having 3 arms and a thundercloud?
I don't know. I guess because they can spin around, but that's more of a tornado or maybe a hurricane. It's not really a thundercloud.
No, we're in the Pacific, so it's a typhoon.
No, they're in the Pacific. Wait.
I think you broke him.
Thought about it like that. Yeah, California doesn't get many typhoons, does it?
Oh, not really. Probably something with the currents.
Anyway, I heard that Marshall was gonna have you do some kind of TV interview.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Jake's really looking forward to that.
It's better than you than me. I'm not a people person. Much less a TV
That makes
person.
2 of us.
Yeah, that's why we get along so well.
Do we?
You guys still talk to me, so yeah.
Fair point.
Oh, bummer.
So, any predictions on the next kaiju appearance? I'm sure it could come at some dramatically appropriate moment.
Usually do.
He's hoping in the middle of this TV interview.
I'm hoping before the TV interview starts, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, before would be nice because if it was during the interview, how would you get back here in time to get in the Jaeger? It'd be like,
That's what I said!
I mean, estimates show that we still have at least a few days before the next predicted event, but I mean, it's not really science here.
Is there any way you can fake an event?
No.
I've dated girls that did that.
Looks very genuinely confused.
Not me, of course.
Looks even more confused.
And that's because I give you extra special attention, because you're worth it.
Oof.
I just pat Nicholas on the shoulder. Oh, you sweet son of a child.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the schematics now.
We just hang awkwardly around him for a bit.
Not like he's already.
I'm gonna take one of the cans, the empty cans, and start punching pencils through it.
Those are my. Oh, those are my night. Never mind.
Here, it's a modern
I was gonna
sculpture.
I'll take one of the pencils off the desk and I'm just going to start chewing it.
Is it?
Oh, that's just rude.
Yeah,
It's not the
this-
edible one?
No, actually,
Thing is edible pencils.
weird, really nerdy thing I know is you probably wouldn't want to chew on these because if these are engineering pencils, they're made out of metal.
All the better to poke through cans with.
Weird, not engineering thing that I know. A Marine invented edible crayons.
That's funny.
I'm from a Marine family, so I get that joke even harder.
I mean, it's true. It's not a joke. It's genuinely true.
Yeah, just from a
Yeah,
military
but there's still a
standpoint.
joke in there.
Yeah, there's still like an insulting joke in there, which is still fun. So yeah, what do you guys want to do? Other than the obvious,
Oh,
I need
in
to
that
start
case, how long until the
prefacing.
car appears then?
I mean, between the conversation between Dustin and then now Nicholas, it's probably close to getting there. If you were to walk down, it'd probably be there by now.
Do we have to walk through the engineering bay to get to the car?
You can stop by, sure.
I would like to stop by. I want to check on the engineering crew. Specifically
Okay.
Sam. Although I'm not
Yeah.
sure if that's what the character was named, but I know that that's Sam.
I had to check because I was like, did I name
I
them
can't
Sam?
remember.
No, I think that their name is Theodore. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, Theodore is kind of there, wrenching on bolts, because that's the only thing, the descriptive thing I can think of. Yeah,
Theodore! Can I call you Ted?
I'll go with for Teddy.
either of those are fine with me, I guess.
How are things shaping up down here? Is Ursa Raiden good to go? Please tell me that there's going to be an attack. Or a problem, or something.
I mean, judging by the clock, we still have a few days, but yeah, Ursa's raring to go. We just got the synthetic muscle weave installed and tuned properly, so that should be up and running the next time you guys have to drop.
So, what are you doing at the moment? Have you got anything particularly pressing or important that you need to be working on right now?
Well, I mean, I do diagnostics on the Jaeger every day to make sure in the event of an event, we don't have to worry about anything going haywire.
How would you like to be on TV?
Oh,
Can't go on TV for us. We have to do this.
yeah, and I heard Dustin talk, or Marshall, sorry. Marshall Dustin talking about that earlier. He said it had to be Jaeger pilots, though. No one wants to see us. I don't even want to be on TV.
Just feel like the engineering crew, you do such essential work. If it weren't for you, your team, none of this would be happening, and you guys deserve some credit.
Well, I mean, that's the reason why I kind of do this stuff, is if I'm doing my job right, people don't know to give me credit.
And I press the button.
What button?
Button.
You know the button. My favorite button.
Oh. That would be loud inside.
Are you asking Theodore if you can honk the horn?
Yeah.
You're like a kid going up to the head of a train, asking the conductor if you can honk the horn. Yes, you can honk the horn.
Thanks, Ted.
The entire hangar bay immediately goes quiet.
Jumps.
Maybe
Okay, I guess I
that
better
was...
doing this bloody interview now then.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. I just...
What?
Huh? I think Dustin's gonna have a word with me now. And then everybody resumes back to what they were doing. And you can see a few, throughout the cut, you can see a few people doing that disappointed head shake. Like, they don't know who did it and why, but they couldn't believe somebody did that. I take it you'd like to head to the car?
Like is an exaggeration.
Yes, we're heading to the car.
Yeah, you head down
Dragging my
to...
heels. I don't want to go.
You make your way down to the main entrance of the Shadow Dome, and you see a car parked outside. You can tell it's a cab because it's got one of those things on the roof, but for the most part, it's a very unassuming, vehicle. It's not yellow or bright yellow or anything.
Is it a boober?
Yeah, it's a Boober.
Send us a decent car to go to this bloody thing in.
Is there anything you'd like to talk about on your way to KNN Studios?
What's the driver like?
He's gonna do that polite thing that any ride sharing service does, where he's gonna greet you as you get in the car, but he's not gonna really speak unless spoken to. But you can tell he kind of keeps looking at you both through the rearview mirror like he wants to talk, but he's being polite and not.
I would assume that Miss Steele probably got in the front seat next to him.
That's up to
Well,
you
we would
guys.
have both got back. Is
Oh,
that what it got?
is there a screen separator or anything like that?
No,
Eh,
no.
unzips.
So
What kind of questions do you think they're going to ask us? Why are we doing this? Why do we have to do this? You going to be all right doing all the talking? Because I'm just going to sit there.
Oh, they'll ask some question. You'll just ramble on for the rest of the show about it.
You look fantastic today.
Why, thank you.
I think the way that you apply makeup in such a way to really accent your natural features is wonderful. You've got such a talent for it.
Why are you sucking up?
I can't think of a reason. I just feel so lucky to have you as my wife. And I thought I'd take this time to just compliment you on your natural beauty and how talented you are. Well, while I still can. You never know what's going to happen.
Being on a TV show isn't going to kill you.
It might.
the cab ride carries on with a very antsy looking driver and Jake constantly making excuses on how this interview might literally kill him. And then you pull up to, I'll be honest, I don't really know what a news studio would look like from the outside.
Multi-floored
big-
granite building with columns lining the entranceway as the car drives in around the curved driveway. A doorsman walks up to the car and opens a door for you as you walk forwards along a carpeted piece of pavement, through the glass doors and into the busy reception area, where you are greeted by a receptionist on the desk who says, "Hello, how may I help you?"
Yeah, like that. I was mainly meaning that I've never been to a film studio, that does TV show or that does like news stuff, so I didn't know, but now I do. Um, yeah, the receptionist uh greets you, uh, and it looks at their computer, and
What
in the
does
back
she look like?
nondescript female with hair up in a bun and wearing a nice business suit. Weird look for a receptionist, but oh well.
Maybe.
Mr. and looks back at the computer again. Miss Steele, I presume.
Ms. Thank you.
Yes, it was written right here to say Ms. I hear or I understand you're here for the. I'm sorry, I just had a fake news name pop into my head, and it made me laugh. And now I'm gonna use it because fuck it. Are you here for the Kimi Jimmel interview?
Did they say that's where we were?
I know. I
He-
thought we were doing Parcel Man.
Well, he's the you know,
Letter Man. Parcel Man.
Letter, parcel.
gotcha. He's the
It's funny because I explained it.
prominent newscaster here at KNN. He was doing a piece about the Jaeger program today.
Actually, we're here for one of the cookery shows.
Oh,
One of the
Uh,
ones where
my.
we aren't seen.
Do you not recognize us?
I mean, I do. I'm just making sure that there
Good thing you
isn't.
said that because I was going to reach over the desk and slap her and say, "I've saved your life."
Well, if you want, the staging area is just down the hallway to your right. A few production managers might stop and get you ready a little bit before you go up on stage, and then you'll meet him himself. So,
I go to the left.
no, Mr. Steele, no, the other direction.
Oh, just ignoring her. Just going to the left.
Hopefully he'll find his way.
I'll go to the right door and just stand outside it and watch him, see what he's doing.
Yeah, he wanders down a left hallway, and then he makes his way through a hallway that's lined with doors that say different things on them, like, production, you know, what's the, no, that's production, never mind. Yeah, the, wardrobe, assistants, there's a restroom. All the doors are locked except for the restroom. And because I know you're going to try them. And as you make your way through once you go down the left hallway, you can only make a right, and then you make another right, going down another hallway, even further, and then you make another. As soon as you get to the end of that hallway, you look to your right, which is the only direction you can go, and you see Sky waiting at the door that was on your right when you went to go left.
You went
You
in a
made it-
circle. is what
You
it's-
went in a circle.
It's about damn time. Get in here.
Fuck.
I pull him into the room.
How to railroad your players with a literal railroad. Yeah, you enter into a waiting room. There's, a few comfy chairs, coffee table, a few magazines to read and whatnot. There's a TV playing other things that the studio produces, past KNN, news, Productions apparently is the only word I can think of. Other, Studio Cannon Productions, commercials for kaiju energy drinks and Jaeger themed toys for children. And then there's another door on the other side of the room that says stage entrance, but it's closed.
Are the toys actually there?
Yeah. There's a Jaeger kind of action figure, kind of just sitting on the coffee
What
table.
Jaeger?
I don't know what it looks like, but I'm gonna say Diablo Intercept because I like the name of that one.
We know the name of the crew.
Crew, no, but you would know that it's a Chilean Jaeger made in Peru.
Walk up to the table with the little Jaeger toy on it. No. What was the name of it? Diablo what?
Diablo Intercept.
I'm Diablo Intercept. My name's Miguel Sanchez. I need Ursa Raiden to come and save me now.
Now I'm just picturing you doing like superhero poses, being like, "I am Ursa Raiden, here to save the day."
Pretty much.
As you're kind of sitting there playing with the toy, you hear the click of the doorknob on the door that said stage entrance, kind of click as it opens, and someone wearing one of those production like headsets kind of peeks their head in. Mr. and Mrs. Steele.
Well, I'm Mr. Steele, but I wouldn't go calling my wife Mrs. Steele.
Quickly checks the clipboard that they're carrying. Yes, my mistake. Miss Steele.
It's Miss. Yes.
My mistake, sorry.
She's a strong, independent woman that need no man, which is why I'm talking for her.
We are getting ready for your interview just now. If you want to come step out here, and we'll kind of give you a little zhuzh up, and then we'll send you out on stage when Kimmy calls for you.
And you said if I want to. What if I don't want to?
Grass in there.
Yeah, well, you're already in the waiting room, sir, so...
Don't mind. I mean, it's a waiting room. Where else? What better place to be than to just wait than a waiting room?
Push him through the door.
Fuck.
Yeah, you're standing in one of those kind of backstage areas where, all tiled black floors. There's different stands for different equipment all around the place, wires strewn about. There's a curtain covering the main stage that you're standing behind. You can hear the man talking to the audience. You hear candid laughter and applause muffled by the curtain in front of you. A few people kind of run up to you really quick with those brushes that kind of mat your skin and kind of, without even asking, get up in front of you and start dabbing your face with the powder, trying to make you look presentable on the camera. Yes?
I stopped makeup artist and I say, look, my wife is perfect as she is. She doesn't need any of your shit on her.
Yeah, exactly. No.
And I want to grab one of the stage hands. And I'll say, look, you, small child, get me a Black Daniels.
Let's see. Can Shiv, on your character sheet, or Jake, sorry, can you give me a pull rank roll? Yeah, as soon as you say this, the stagehand immediately, Yes, Mr. Steele, right away, and he goes running off to grab one.
See,
And right before you go on, he returns with two styrofoam cups and hands one to you, Sky, and the other to Jake. And then looks at them for a second, kind of confused, and then takes them both out of your hands, swaps them, and then gives them back. I think that's the right one.
big out of it before I let him have it back.
Yeah, just, can you roll me a 1d2 in Roll20? Or slash R1d2, I think. You get a very strong, swig of Jack Daniels.
Black Daniels.
Black Daniels, sorry. And from the look
I was going for. I hand it back.
And he immediately swaps it to give it to Jake instead. And that's when you kind of hear from behind the muffled curtain. And here to talk about more of the Jaeger program and where it's going in the future, the pilots of Ursa Raiden, Mr. and Miss Steele. And then the jazz band that plays in between bits starts playing a tune. And then the curtains open up for you to walk out onto the stage.
After you, my darling. I'll watch her go for a bit. I'll turn the opposite way and try and walk out.
I knew he was going to do that, so before he does, I grab his hand, pull him out with me, and kind of sink my nails into his hand a little bit to get him to come along.
Oh, that's going to work.
The audience gives a big round of applause, and the jazz music kind of plays out as you both sit down next to each other on, because I know you'd prefer a love seat style couch, kind of opposite, but not directly facing a desk that the Mr. Kimmy is sitting at with a little radio style microphone on sitting up top that looks very ornamental rather than functional. Yeah, like it doesn't look like it's plugged in, but it looks like it's there to be a microphone. Do you wish to say anything to each other as you're waving at the audience as they clap before the applause dies down?
This is worse than any kaiju I've ever fucking faced.
And go along with it.
Just remember our deal. I'm the man tonight.
Yes.
The applause dies down. Mr. and Mrs. Steele, Jake and Sky, if I may. It's wonderful to have you up.
Thank you for having us.
So, I know that we get to interview Jaeger pilots quite often.
I've got a small flavor detail because you said love seat type couch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm desperately trying to encourage my wife to hook her leg over me so I can sort of hide behind her.
He keeps trying to grab my leg and I just keep pushing him away. Trying to be subtle about it.
The more you do that and the more frustrated you get with it and you start getting more and more aggressive until finally you kind of throw Jake a tiny bit to the side of the couch and you get one of those laugh track style things from the audience. We get to interview a lot of Jaeger pilots here quite often, but it's the first time we've gotten the mighty Ursa Raiden to join us here. I heard you guys were the ones that took down the last kaiju attack up in, what was it, Homer, Alaska?
Just doing our duty.
Jake. His name's Jake, not Homer.
Yeah. Everybody I've talked to says that you've got a wonderful sense of humor. So,
Who have you been talking to? Tell me. I want names.
laugh track ensues. Usual things. All Jaeger pilots are connected somehow. I understand that you are married. How long has that been a thing?
Well, marriage has been an institution in our society for many thousands of years.
Laugh
He
track.
didn't want to talk.
No. Sorry, Jake. I meant between you two. When did you meet? Where did it start?
I'll let my wonderful wife tell the story.
Even though he wrote it. Oh, we met in Rome.
Rome.
It was right after I retired from the Navy and was actually out touring the world as a citizen when this remarkable man just walked up to me outside at a cafe.
Wow, it sounds like a lovely story. And how long ago was that? You can give an estimate. I don't really care about an exact year.
I don't remember the timeline.
I don't either. That's why I'm saying this.
It's about 5 years ago.
5 years? Wow. So that means you were together before the event started. Yeah.
About 3 years ago. Or would it have been? It was before the Jaegers were a thing.
Yeah, it was
wasn't
about
But
it was
during
about
the
3
Jaeger
years ago.
attack.
Yeah.
Or
Kaiju
Kaiju
attack.
attack.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is before Kaiju started appearing.
That was one of the rare attacks on the Atlantic, actually. And
Yeah.
we were actually caught up in the attack in Rome.
A few gasps come up from the audience as you say that. You were caught up in it. Is that what made you choose this line of work now?
Oh, yes, indeed. There was this poor little girl that her parents must have gotten killed in the attack, and both tried together to save her.
A few more gasps coming up from the audience here and there. Oh man, that's tragic and all too common story now these days. Well, I'm glad that we are able to have you now. Speaking of, the Jaeger program has gotten a bit of a backlash lately. There are tons of either extreme or concerned groups out there that don't think that it's the way we should continue going, from worries that the kaiju will come faster to the lunatics that think that these things are some kind of catastrophe sent to us by God to punish us for whatever reason. How do you feel about the shift in public opinion over the years?
People who hold those sort of views are complete fucking morons. The Jaeger program is the first, last, and best line of defense for the entire human race against kaiju. These are the sorts of selfish, idiotic human beings that if there was some kind of global pandemic, they'd say it was fake, and then they'd do anything they could to try and avoid the best solutions that we had at the time to keep us all safe. And that's what the Jaeger program is, the best solution to keep us safe.
I appreciate your passion on the subject. few very hearty claps coming from a few members of the audience. While I wholeheartedly agree, I've heard there's been rumors going around. I mean, none of them have been proven of the sort, but there's definitely hushed murmurs of something that's going to replace the program. Do you think that that's plausible or effective? How do you feel about?
There's some insane plan going around to try and wall off the entire Pacific Ocean, which is about as effective as wearing a mask and leaving your nose exposed.
As soon as you say, I wanna kind of be a little bit specific here. Are you insinuating that you've heard the same rumors, or are you saying that you know what's being
We've
planned?
heard the same rumors.
Okay.
I make sure to get in before he gets
That's
in.
not true. Look, it's a scientific fact that if your nose is exposed outside of a mask, it's completely pointless wearing a fucking mask in the first place. Put the mask on properly. That's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, as soon as you say rumors
I pat
of
him on the knee.
a wall, a few members of the audience just go, "What? A wall? How stupid!" And then you hear what? "Oh no, I think a wall might work."
A wall will be about as effective as a tissue is for a teenager in heat.
Oh, all right, Mr.
This is
Steele.
how we know they're only rumors. There's
Yes.
no way that they would build a wall. How could that be more effective than a Jaeger?
I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
It's a completely stupid idea in the first place, engineering-wise. I mean, what are you going to do with things like Australia that's out there in the middle of nowhere, and then New Zealand as well? What, is humanity just going to abandon them? Leave them behind a wall that's built around the rest of the world? It just seems insane. It seems like something of a plot hole in the idea, to be honest with you.
I completely understand, Mr. Steele. Look, I'm not a scientist or a politician, so I don't know. One, if these rumors
Are you an architect? Could you build us a way out of this?
I don't know what rumors are true and what aren't, or what is feasible and what's not. I'm just trying to get opinions on what's out there.
What's out there are ginormous monsters from another dimension that are leaching through into the Pacific Ocean and have only got one thing in mind, and that's destroying us and using us to fill their sandwiches. And we're the best and only line of defense that the human race has.
Well, I agree with that. Is there any worry that the Jaeger program won't be able to keep up? That there is concern that the kaiju keep appearing faster and faster these days. Eventually, they might outnumber Jaegers far more than we could build them, or far faster than we can build them.
Right before we came here, we talked to one of the top engineers on the program who is working on schematics. Exactly. Who's working on schematics for new and improved Jaegers to be even more brutal and efficient at eliminating the kaiju threat.
New and improved Jaegers. Well, I know that the Mark IIIs that are currently out are much more advanced than the Mark I's that we saw a few years ago. I can't wait to see what we get in the future from the, I believe it was JTech officers that are working on that. And you guys got to see updated Jaegers firsthand. I'm jealous, and
would we know if we can or can't talk about Gypsy Danger specifically?
I have no idea, so I say fuck it. Why not? Go ahead.
We saw this beautiful top-of-the-line model being constructed Analog as well. So you can tell that she's got some serious backing power on her. Nuclear powered. Finally using that sort of power for advantage. Nothing this big blue beauty can't do.
You say analog, and some guy goes, "Yeah, I love analog." Wow, that sounds mighty impressive. And kind of jokingly looks side to side. Have you heard anything else about any other future projects? And a few murmurs of "ooh" from the audience.
I saw this one. It was completely stupid idea. They wanted to make Jaegers more athletic to be able to run, and they weren't going to be as clunky. And it just, to me, that just doesn't seem like a Jaeger if it's got all this prancy movement. At what sacrifice does that come? Because the Jaegers we have now, the way they move in these slow, robotic ways, and they feel chunky, like they've got a lot of power. But a robot that moves like it's some sort of ballerina? Nah.
Well, from my understandings, the Jaegers actually move quite quickly, especially the newer ones, and it's just the parallaxing effect from being really far away that makes it look slow.
They move fast for what they are, but they move like a solid object. If they start prancing around like some sort of ballerina, there would be a huge uprising.
You don't even see him in the audience, but you hear a golf clap in the background.
And all you need to know about the Jaeger program at the moment is, funding-wise, we're in the black. Black.
I got the joke. You just admitted to not having any funding, though.
No, that's in the red if
The
there's no
black
funding.
means it's good.
Oh! I guess I've just never heard of something being in the black when referring to...
Black Friday.
Well, I
That's why
just
it's
mean
called
like
Black
being in
Friday,
the...
to put them in the black to get rid of all the stuff.
Audience? I did not know that. I just learned something.
Audience. Hi, RJ.
Yeah. Well, this sounds quite promising. I can't wait to see what impressive new kaiju or impressive new Jaegers come out to fight the oncoming kaiju threat. I want to thank you both, Mr. and Miss Steele, for taking time in letting us know that the Jaeger program is as strong and unstoppable as ever.
We stand up and go.
I mean, I thought Miss Hearts was about to say something.
Thank you for having us, and we are happy to be able to protect all of you.
Thank you for being here, everybody. Ursa Raiden, and the jazz band starts playing again, and the audience
I
starts
take his
clapping.
coffee cup off his table as we go.
He looks very confused, but because he's like on TV at the moment or whatever, he doesn't do anything to stop you. Yeah, you know, the stagehands come up and they're kind of not really pampering you or anything, but they're you know, making sure you're all good, you don't need anything. A few
Black Daniels.
the same guy, as soon as he sees you come out and people are asking him what to do, he doesn't even hesitate. He runs off to grab some more to get you. Fuse the you know.
When he comes back, right?
Yeah.
I'll give him the coffee cup I took off the desk, and I'll say, "Can you put a large amount of vodka in this and return it to his desk, please?"
It doesn't normally. It normally takes a little bit of orange juice in his vodka, but if you say only vodka, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, just a large amount. You know, not quite to the top, but
Okay. A few production assistants with their headphones on, their clipboards, they come over and they're like, they're doing the usual, like, trying to usher you out, but being really polite and like, oh, thank you, hope you had a good time, thank you for being here.
I lost my mug. Would you send me a mug? I want a mug. Can I have a mug, please?
We'll get you on our mailing list, yes, of course. Just kind of shooing you towards the exit.
Mailing list. Okay. We'll remember that. This studio will be lower on the priority list to save.
They aren't even really listening to you at this point. They're kind of just doing their jobs. They've got headphones on with a million people talking in their ear at once. And yeah, you make it outside. The same car is there to take you back to the Shadow Dome if you wish. Unless you want to do anything else while you're in town that you can think of.
Are you hungry? I'm hungry. I haven't eaten. Do you want to go for food?
I had some French fries in the mess hall, but I can always go for something else.
We want to go for food.
Okay, yeah, you get in the car, you tell the guy to stop for food beforehand, and since you guys
Burger Emperor.
Since you guys are finally speaking to him, he's like, oh yeah, Burger Emperor, yeah, I love Burger Emperor. Burger Emperor is my favorite restaurant ever. He's like, is it your favorite? I mean, it doesn't have to be, but
Maybe we should stop at a liquor store too.
well, don't forget the Shadow Dome has a bar.
Maybe we should stop at a liquor store too.
Restock.
Is there anything you wish to play out, or with the food?
We pull up in line for Burger Emperor and sit there forever. And
go to a drive-through restaurant, order a kaiju steak. This woman comes out and roller skates, places this huge rack of ribs on the side of the car, and it's sort of. That cat will not stay out for the night.
Yeah. I just imagine two people that pilot a skyscraper tall robot to save the planet against giant robots, pulling up through a drive-through and the window rolling down. It's like, I'd like 2 kaiju burgers and a side of fries. And then the loudspeaker just comes up. And you're like, what? And then your order pops up on the screen. You're like, yeah, that looks right. Second window.
We can make Jaegers that respond mentally to us, connect our 2 brains so we can communicate instantaneously without the need to speak, and yet they still can't make an intercom that works.
Not at a drive-through anyway.
And that's when you pull up to the second window, and the window opens up, and a person with a mask on, because they're food, they work in the food industry. They gotta keep germs out of that stuff. And the drive-through headset on, and they lean out the window and look at you. And go, 2 more burgers of some fries.
Dude, that's where that was going.
You forgot the huge bit. Huge dick. Drive.
He rear ends the guy in front of us.
Yeah, he's so nervous he doesn't even think about who's in front of him. He just hits the gas. No, you grab your food and you head back to the Shadow Dome for the night. Is there anything you wish to discuss on the ride back, or once you get back before the night comes? Other than the
Nothing that's
obvious? Of
appropriate for Twitch.
course not.
Pickles on this burger.
Oh, I'll take your pickles. I like the pickles.
I know you do.
That's the most wholesome this relationship is ever going to be.
That was still innuendo.
Was it?
Also,
Damn it.
wholesome. I think you'll find that this relationship gets very wholesome.
Yeah, you go to bed for the night. A few days go by. Nothing really,
It's a long time in bed.
you know
You're
what I mean.
complaining?
No,
A few
just want to
days,
point it out.
few days go by with no significant events happening, kaiju or otherwise.
Excuse me? Wow, Nitro, no significant events? I think you'll find that there were plenty of significant events.
Well, when they happen every 5 minutes, they're not really significant anymore now, are they?
They're always significant with my wonderful wife.
You're pointing the wrong way. Yeah,
It's funny because that's how it kind of looked as well.
a few days go by. Is there anything there? I mean, there's nothing really pressing for you to do, like no orders or anything. But before we jump to something important, is there anything you wish to do around the Shadow Dome?
Let me be the man more often.
You're the one that asked to switch roles to begin with.
Yeah, but I thought we'd do at least a 50-50 mix.
If you insist.
I'm gonna say
It had its ups and its downs.
this conversation's happening in like the main command center, because like during daily life or whatever, there's not a lot of like busyness through there because there's no emergency happening, so people aren't running about. Nicholas is kind of just messing with the neural handshake interface and whatnot, testing.
I never knew you could do that to the B in the alphabeti spaghetti, but the things that you can do with your tongue never cease to amaze me.
Sitting there working on the neural handshake thing, every time an innuendo is said, a slight sigh is let out.
Like,
A slight, yeah. When Nicholas just finally pops up, it's like, man, it's really nice that a kaiju hasn't shown up in a while, huh? And right as he says that, of course, all the lights begin blaring red in the command center, and the giant screen on the wall it displays breach occurring in the port in the breach. Breach is happening in the breach. Kaiju event. Yeah. Kaiju event occurring. Category 3.
About damn time. I was starting to get bored.
you remember the deal, right?
You give me the man, yeah.
No. Whoever gets the killing blow gets to be the man.
Oh, okay.
Which was Miss Steele last time.
I know! Took me a week to sit down.
Yeah,
On the other hand, took me a week to sit down.
actually, I think I misspoke there. The computer actually says category 4. And Nicholas pipes up looking at the board, and he's like, no, that can't be right. He clicks a few buttons on the thing, and the computer chimes up again. Category 4. Like, no, that still can't be right. Flicks a few other buttons, and the computer comes back. Category 4. And he's like, I guess the math isn't wrong.
I turn to Sky and I say, for a month. For a week.
Nicholas kind of looks a little bit nervous and turns around to look at you guys and goes, it's the first ever Category 4. And with that, we go on our break. Unless, Sky, you would like to do a one-liner.
Ah, when we're good.
Okay. But yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. We've just been informed that a new kaiju has entered through the breach. It is clocked in at being a category. Yeah, it's a Category 4, biggest ever. And the alarms are blaring. It's going to take probably 20, 30 minutes to get from the breach to dry land, but good.
What's the kaiju's name? Or designation?
Thank you for reminding me. When the computer chimes up and says, Kaiju, Category 4, Distinction, Snapjaw. And
Gee, I wonder what its special move is.
Be surprised.
I vaccinate against that.
Yeah, you get the old Snapjaw vaccine. It's okay, if you get Snapjaw when you're a kid, you're fine. If you won't get it as an adult.
Why you break your bones when you're a kid, because then you don't ever break them again. Makes you immune.
The monitor
Don't worry, you'll
pulls
be
up.
breaking my bone later tonight.
Probably not.
A map immediately appears on the screen with a few like general areas of interest labeled on the screen, and you'll start to realize that it's where all the shadow domes are located. So you've got one in Chile, one in Anchorage, one in LA, one in Hong Kong, and one in Australia. I think that's all of them. Cross my fingers. I hope that's all of them. And you see a very caricaturistically big symbol in the middle of the ocean denoting where the breach is, and a red dot that appears out of it, and a little label appears above the red dot that says Snapjaw. And the red dot seems to be moving in direction towards the continent of North America. Nicholas pipes up. It'll be here in not too long, but we've got time to suit you guys up. Is there anything you need to do?
Are we deploying solo, or are we getting backup Jaeger?
No, the
Category 4.
Romeo Blue is up and running. I have notified the twins, and they should be heading to their hangar bay now.
Great, Femboy's helping us.
Better not steal or kill.
Hopefully, you guys can handle that thing. I don't know much about Romeo Blue being able to take on a Category 4. considering these numbers, and he starts looking at the displacement and weight that's been estimated by the breach dilation.
Romeo Blue is Mark 1.
Mm-hmm.
They put together those bad boys in 8 months. 8 months.
14.
The last thing they were thinking of at the time was protection from radiation.
Well, luckily the Mark ones, well, I wanted to call it the Category 1. Luckily the Mark 1 Jaegers that are still in circulation have been retrofitted with the appropriate radiation shielding. That's why we're allowed to still deploy.
But Romeo Blue is nuclear, not digital, right?
Yeah, all Mark 1s were nuclear.
So with Mark 3s, I think.
I think up until the Mark 3s and some of the Mark 4s, were all analog, or were all nuclear.
Out of interest, completely out of game. What did they use after nuclear?
I have no idea.
Mr. Fusion.
Yeah, probably a big ass battery.
Yeah. I
Because
saw this documentary once where they had these big giant robots operated on battery, and they operated by a cable. Stupid fucking idea, though. Really fucking stupid idea, using a cable on a fucking giant robot.
only I get that reference. But yeah, we're gonna be deploying Romeo Blue first because it's a little bit slower in its old age. And then we can get you guys suited up, and you should be able to meet up at the defense point at around the same time. Just don't try and show Romeo up too badly. It's still, you know, as old as it is, it weighs like almost 4 times as much as Ursa does, and it has to push that
So
weight
does
all
my
the
mother, but she doesn't help us.
And at that point, Marshal Dustin comes running into the command center. Ursa, what are you still doing up here? You need to get down to the hangar and suit it up immediately.
Oh yeah, I hadn't
Where
thought
we're
of that.
headed.
Yeah, you guys head down.
Someone was talking too much.
I blame me.
We
Yeah,
could
you
just have
guys-
a 4-hour discussion about Jaegers, to be honest with you.
You guys head down to the hangar bay, and the crew starts suiting you up in your suits. You walk into the head or the entrance hatch. Your giant metal or like clunky boots stomping along the metal hull of the con pod of the Jaeger as the giant hull. Yes.
I missed this last time. Would you like to take the left or the right?
I'll take the right.
The crew's closing the heavy vault-like door, and you hear pistons moving and whirring and to lock the door shut nice and tight. You enter into the left and right hemispheres, and your boots lock in. The arm controller comes up and attaches around the wrist. You hear a radio chime in with Nicholas on the at the low set control panel. Ursa, are you reading me?
What?
I'm clear.
Uh,
You were close to Red Smack you.
are you both
Say.
ready to initiate neural handshake?
Ready as I'm gonna be. You been inside this guy's head?
You've been inside her head?
On your character sheets, you have a
Of the
neural
Kama Sutra.
handshake trigger, correct? What is the arcs? Ooh, interesting.
We both fucked
You're
up.
low. Okay. Yeah.
No, only one.
Can
Oh,
I spend the
I
willpower
fucked up
point?
last time, so.
Yeah, it's fitting, right? Sorry, I just got a really brilliant idea. You get memories flashing before your eyes. You've gotten used to this by now. Memories, washing by at the speed, only glimpses being able to recognize what they might be. And you start remembering those as Jake's memories and those as Sky's memories and vice versa. And Sky, you go to check if it's working and you move your hand, and in the back of your mind, in the part where you imagine things moving through 3D space, you can also see Ursa's hand moving in the same manner. And you look over at Jake. Jake, you're flashing memories going forward and back and whatnot. And all of a sudden, you're back on that TV stage. And
Good one.
and the man is sitting there like, yeah, the Jaeger program is doomed, isn't it? And you go to speak, but you can't. And you look around, and all the people are staring and waiting for you to answer, but you,
They're all
just-
my uncle.
yeah. And Sky, as you turn to face Jake, you see him sitting there the way you saw him a few days ago on the couch, in whatever he was wearing at that time, his normal getup. You're in the full Jaeger getup though, and you're sitting on the couch too. And yeah, Jake, you just can't seem to get out of this weird nightmare where you're not really in your underwear, but you feel like you're in your underwear on TV.
Like, that's gonna bother me.
Fair.
Can I touch him during this? Or am I just sitting there?
I don't think it's ever been established that you can't.
Yeah, I think
So
you
why
can.
not? Yeah.
Yeah. She's gonna slap me, you know that, right?
So, no, I'm not. I don't know if this is doable, so you'll have to let me know if it is. I reach down, intertwine his hand in mine, and press my nails into his hand just like I did that day.
Alright. Yeah, Shiv, can you make me another neural handshake roll with a +1 accuracy? Do you remember how to do accuracy?
It's the +1 that I'm hoping I've got right.
It's top right. Drop. Set the drop down to 1. Click. Oh, hells yeah. Oh yeah, you feel her nails dig into the palm of your hand, and you're immediately snapped awake. And you're back in the con pod. Yep.
Whoa.
Mhm.
Gaining consciousness, I slowly turn to her, and with a small smile, I just say, "Okay, later."
And you say that, you look down at your hand, you move it. Did you establish last time?
I thought of a really good one. I know that Ms. Hart's and I are meant to have a neural handshake, but we've got a natural neural handshake, Nitro.
Okay.
Okay.
What does
So
the Jaeger
it
do?
takes right hand and it goes, cracks it. Takes left hand, it cracks it, and then just. And if you get that, I love you.
I'm trying to remember. It seems really familiar. It might be lost on me at the moment, though. Sadly.
Arts.
I feel like it's something I should know, but I don't offhand.
Bruce Lee.
Ah,
I knew that pose was, like, distinct, but I couldn't remember who. I was too focused on the nose thing. Which, funny enough, you put your arms in that position, and then whoever's on the right side goes to wipe their nose, and the thumb of the Jaeger just scrapes across the hole on the front of the head. Yeah. And you begin wading out into the water. Which into the bay of wherever this is, because I don't remember. Did it swap for you guys?
yeah, it's swap, but I have 2 character sheets in mine.
Alright, hold on.
So
didn't
there's a
change
boat
on my
10
end.
clicks off from the dock. Do we have authorization to rescue it?
Gypsy, I need you to take care of that kaiju and make... That's in order. Oh, I know what the problem is. Okay. Apologies, hold on. There we go. Doing it live, hold on. I didn't change something on here. Which is why it didn't change on my end. So as you're walking the Jaeger through the bay to defend against whatever's about to arise out of the water, what pep talks do you give each other?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
What?
No, that was the pep
That's the
talk.
joke.
Oh,
That's the joke.
alright. And... It might help if I go over
Side
here as well.
I like that before.
Alright, I think you should be able to see...
But where's your knee
Gypsy.
gonna go? Oh,
Yeah, there's Gypsy. Oh, there's Gypsy and Romeo Blue up there at the top of the map.
you mean Romeo? Because you didn't say Gypsy was there.
Yep.
I think he means Ursa.
I
that
met
could be
one
true
of
as
them.
well.
There's 2 Jaegers there. One of them's you guys.
Ursa.
We're gonna take this Jaeger and we're gonna do something really stupid.
Really stupid.
Probably. Romeo kind of moves ahead of you a little bit. You both should be able to move your token to wherever you want. That should snap to the correct things.
Considering I got lost in the TV studio, I think it's best if Sky is in charge of navigation.
You can get lost. You went exactly where I wanted you to.
Is why you should be in charge of navigation.
Yeah,
Okay, so how...
Go ahead.
You might be answering my question. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was about to paint more scene. What were you going to ask?
Go for it.
The radio comes over with a voice you haven't heard in quite a while. So this is Romeo. We're gonna try and...
Romeo! Romeo, where art thou, Romeo?
Aha, Ursa. Joke later. We're gonna move up, but keep an eye out. This thing's big, but kaiju are always slippery.
Age before beauty.
And
I've waited so long to do that joke. I'm so glad I got it in.
yeah, if you guys want to move around in whatever direction you may. But as of right now,
How do I move?
should just be able to click and drag.
Nope.
Okay.
And how far can I move?
Oh, I found it. Okay. I made the same mistake I made last time. There you go. Now you should be able to move it.
Yes. So how far can I
Um,
move?
that's the wrong thing. Ursa Raiden, your speed is 3. So 3 squares per turn, but we're not really in turn combat right now, so I guess you can move as much as you want.
So would that be 3 squares?
I believe so. I'll be completely honest, I'm not going to be super scrutinous.
Good thing you didn't say anal, because I was going to say I will be later.
There was a specific reason why I used a
Another island.
synonym. Nope, that's wrong. You see off in the distance a bit of water shift and move in a way that doesn't really look like the waves, but you're not quite sure because a slight rain starts to pick up and the wind starts to blow. But so far, all you can see is there is a bit of movement under the water right around there. You can see where I'm pinning, or probably can't see where I'm pinning it. Right around there.
Oh.
I still didn't see.
It's down near
On the
the
other side of
bottom.
the line
Yeah, down near the bottom.
to zoom out.
Have the docks been abandoned, evacuated of workers?
Nick pipes in, or Nicholas pipes in over the radio. Yeah, or so we sent out a evacuation order, so they are either already gone or in the process of getting out. Try and keep that thing away from the shoreline for as long as possible, though.
I'm gonna move us another step ahead.
Just had a brilliant idea. If we can get onto the docks itself, we could pick up some of the cargo crates and use them as ad hoc knuckle dusters.
I'm gonna step towards the docks.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, you're not really in combat yet, so if you want to just go ahead
Well,
and...
then in that case, we're on the docks.
Yeah, you can park yourself on the
Is
docks.
that the docks or is that a parking?
I'll be completely honest, I was trying really hard to scale the map to the Jaegers, so I have no idea what those are. I think they're shipping containers, though.
Okay.
And I made them about hand size. But yeah, Ursa, if you want to pick up a couple shipping containers, that's perfectly fine. As you're doing that, so I'm just trying to remember what layer I have to be on to click on certain tokens and whatnot. You hear a bit of a sound in the background. And then Romeo Blue chimes in over the radio. Oh, so we've got more movement to the south. Is there anything you'd like to do?
shipping container in each hand?
Yeah, I assume you have one in each hand.
Now kiss.
Do 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 do. Oh, you meant not bad. Okay.
Nice. Ursa, I think that it might be about to breach, and as Romeo says this, a large explosion out of the water. I need to move this to token layer. Oh, you won't even be able to. I'm gonna move this down so that way the stream can see it too. A massive behemoth appears out of the water with a nice sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to
kaiju.
yeah, there we go. And your view screen kind of does that thing where it zooms and enhances so you can get a better look. And that pops up on the screen for a better look. That did pop up for you guys, right?
Yeah.
And it begins heading towards Romeo, which means we will begin combat. I'm gonna just have the kaiju move first. Romeo actually opens up fire on the kaiju as it has two large arrays of Gatling guns that appear out of its chest, and it goes into a very grounded stance and opens up fire on the kaiju as it begins charging towards them, and they will hit and do 6 damage. The guns doing a considerable amount of damage to the outer carapace of the two ginormous claws that the kaiju is using to walk in almost a quadrupedal motion because they're so huge, but also using them to guard its face from the incoming fire. Which one of you would like to act first?
Row on 3.
I missed that. What did you say? Sorry.
Throw on 3. 1, 2, 3, throw.
Why not just fire the kaiju busters?
Okay.
Which one of you would like to do so?
He suggested it.
She's a good shot. I punch things.
Our own personal things don't matter for this, though, do they?
No, you should have. This is the. You should have the Ursa character sheet open and
Right,
on the mech
right.
tab and all the
But it
weapons.
doesn't really matter who does what.
No, it's just turn order.
Ladies first.
Okay.
Nice. Does that hit? It barely hits. And it does about 9 damage. Wow. Minus all Yeah, the fire or the two pods of missiles extend from the shoulders of Ursa, and the missiles fire out, zigzagging through the air until they impact. And it's kind of cool. It impacts into the skin and bits of carapace. The ones that hit the carapace kind of hit and fall, but the ones that hit the more fleshy bits of like the legs kind of stick in, and you see arcs of electricity expand outwards from the impact point as if you fired almost a wireless taser at it. And the kaiju reels itself around in reaction to it. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Okay, sorry. And then it immediately turns, looks at you guys, and it is which one of this has this ability? This kaiju has a bunch more cool stuff I get to do. I just have to remember where it's at. What's the speed of this thing? They never put the useful information where I need it. Okay, I'm not.
Reading the handbook.
It's going to take its two giant claws and put them together in front of it, and then start to tilt forward, and it begins rolling like a giant ball towards you, Ursa. And I'm going to say, yeah, it's both of you. Duh, okay. Okay, yeah. I thought this was like, I knew I had a thing where I could like attempt to knock you down, but no, it just says it moves at you at a certain amount of speed and gets to immediately attack you.
Got rolled up onto the docks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the amount of like,
Yeah, cool maneuver there where it would just be coming towards us as a ball and we could just punch it.
I mean, it'll be your turn next, so maybe.
I take the cricket bat.
I believe Ursa Raiden's evasion is 12. It's in the top right of that really dumb, stupidly large block of math. I believe it's 12.
Ah, yes.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good. Yeah, it rolls up onto the docks and stops right before hitting you, and it brings up one of its giant claws and attempts to bring it down on top of you, and you just simply sidestep it out of the way. Jake, what would you like to do?
I would like to apply fist to face.
Well, I mean, you can
Ow.
do the fist and or kick, or punch and or kick in the Ursa
Well,
Raiden.
can I use bear claws and apply claws to face?
Oh yeah, and I believe bear claws
no.
are. Well, you still got. I mean, the bear claws wouldn't make you drop
I've
them,
got
but
the cargo
yeah.
containers and our fist, but I don't know which is going to be more powerful.
Mm-hmm. Well, the regular punch. What's the damage on a punch and or kick?
1d3 plus 2.
Punch kick. 1d. Yeah, I'll say that since you're holding those things, I'll change that to a d6. Just let me know when you decide to drop them. I changed your damage type on punch kick so you can do a little more damage.
Yeah, then I will just apply fist to face with cargo container modifier.
Okay.
Go container two-face.
And it is a quick action, so you can do it up to twice.
One with each
Twice
hand.
nightly.
Twice, or if you overcharge, you can do it a third time.
Okay, we did that like that once.
Nice. Don't worry, just like in most RPGs, just because it's bigger and stronger doesn't mean it's harder to hit. So yeah, that definitely hits the balloons. And you do... Wait, did you roll? Oh, it didn't scroll down. Okay, I found it. Oh yeah, you definitely hit something. Hells yeah. Okay.
Something.
So I'm having to switch between like three tabs. Yeah, you hit it right in the face. It goes to swing its claw at you, and you do the side step, and then you just uppercut it with a haymaker. And you see, as the horn goes off, debris that was inside the cargo containers flies out as the already crushed container just gets compressed even farther from the impact of the hit. And you do 5 kinetic. It looked like a sizable punch, but it kind of just shakes its head and roars at you, not looking like it did much.
Like two Karens in a shop. Do I still get the modifier with the cargo container, or is that crushed beyond recognition?
You had one in each hand, so
And bear claws count as a quick action as well.
I believe so.
So could I do the old 1, 2 bear claw play? That's a technical
See-
term. Play.
You wanna overcharge and do 3 attacks? Is that what you're saying? Because you said
Consult with my wife on this because I know better. Do we want to overcharge?
overcharge gives you a third quick action, but it makes your overcharge meter increase. It would increase from 0 to 1, and then you take that much heat for every time you do it.
Okay.
So you would take 1 heat if you overcharge now.
And how much heat do we have total? Oh, okay, I see the overcharge there.
You have 8 heat before you get reactor stress.
Oh, there's the 8. Okay. Yeah, hell, let's do it.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead, yeah, overcharge up to 1, and then give me... wait a minute.
I'm not sure about the good or bad face.
Wait, hold on. Oh, hells yeah. Okay. You're like, yeah, I hit this thing in the face. That I got a nice haymaker in there. I could do it again, and you go to punch with the other hand, and it still connects, but with the claw that it brings up to block the attack like a shield. And you did 8 damage. 8
Is that
damage.
crit as well?
No, you just did the maximum total damage.
Oh.
I can't count health bars for some reason. 1, 2, 3.
You've run out of fingers, use your oh, never mind.
Yeah, you punch it in the side of the claw, and bits of debris fly out of the other cargo container that you had, and a sizable chunk of what you would assume is like chitin, the stuff that like bug shells are made of, but it's a kaiju, so you're not sure. Kind of crack and fall off. But it's... The claw looks pretty messed up, but it looks pretty okay. Do you want to do your third attack?
Yep. Do you want me to reset the punch kick from 1d6 to whatever it should be? Is it d3?
Yeah, it's a d3. Well, you wanted to do bear claw, right?
Yeah, I do. I just don't want to forget that
While we
can't.
were on it, yeah.
Yeah. Good. Oh, hell yeah. It roars, as you take the large chunk out of its, claw. And it tries to pick it up and pull it away from you, and that's when you pull your fist back, clench your fingers together, and activate. Just say bear claws out loud, and the computer goes bear claws deployed, and the 3 segmented blades eject out of the knuckles and start beginning to glow. And you go to swing, and it hits again in the head. Shiv, I give mad props to how you do this, because I have 3 tabs that I'm getting very confused between.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Pencil and paper.
Yeah, right. The red hot blades from the Jaeger scrape across its armored hide and leave 3 very deep and scorched scratches along the left side of its scalp. And it reels back and tries to judge the situation it's in, and sees Romeo Blue. Yeah, right. Sees Romeo Blue charging up behind it, and it's going to turn around and make it over to this guy and attack Romeo Blue. Actually, where's my abilities at? How can I fuck up this NPC? I can't turn the token around. You're gonna have to believe me.
Is that because every now and then it gets a little bit lonely?
And some bear claws to the face. Turn around.
Every now and then it gets a little bit tired.
Of getting bear claws to the face. It's going to, as it moves, it's going to roll up into a ball again. And it's weird, it's got this almost gyroscopic-like motion to it, where even though it's not rolling forward, it can still turn. And it rolls up and tries to turn around and go after Romeo. Can you both make an agility save for me, please?
On the mech sheet?
On the mech sheet, yes. It should, yeah.
Or is that? Oh, there.
Underneath HP and that. What is this thing? Save target. Save 12. As you weren't expecting it to roll up as fast as it was, or as fast as it did, sorry, it bumps into one of your arms and the little spikes coming out of your knee, and it will actually knock you prone, which you're just gonna have to get up before you start moving next turn. But you are knocked down, and it's going to go after Romeo. And Romeo is going to bear the brunt of the impact of the thing rolling at it and not get knocked prone. And then
Guess we finally found out why it has that fucking fin in front of its face.
yeah, you'll notice that as the kaiju's rolling, the fin is keeping the spikes away from its head.
How plot convenient.
How plot convenient. Romeo Blue is going to miss its Gatling gun shots again. Miss Hearts, I believe it's your turn.
Oh, what can we do prone? Doesn't stand.
That's a good question. One second. Statuses and conditions. Prone. Prone characters are slowed, which means you move at half speed. And you can only remove prone by standing up instead of moving. So you have to use all of your movement to get back up.
Still
I
fire
don't
or
want to move.
yeah.
Yeah, you can fire things from the prone position. The only thing affected is your movement. Okie doke. That is a full action, I believe. Yeah, you.
I think so.
It
Yeah,
also.
full action. And we get
Yeah.
to-
What was that?
It's a full action and we get 2.
Yeah, so your heat's up to 3 now out of 8. Hopefully that changed on your end. And
Nice.
Yep.
man, you were lucking out that even on the bad rolls you're still kind of hitting it.
Kind of hitting it.
Well, because of the way that the kaiju's built statistically, you're able to hit 1 of 3 bits, and because the lower rolls, you're hitting 1 bit a lot.
Oh, and Nitro, looks like on stream, they might not be seeing the bottom of the roll box.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot to move that. Oh, yeah, it wasn't auto-scrolling. There we go. Alright. Yeah, the side, you were left side, right? Or right side, correct?
Right
Of
side
the
bottom.
Jaeger? Yeah. Letting go of the remaining debris from the shipping container, you activate the Stormcaster, and the plates and armor on the right arm begin to shift and rotate and separate as the entire forearm becomes two long rails that electricity begins to arc between faster and faster before a large... What the hell sound effect was that?
With the closing.
Stormcaster moving.
What was it from, though?
I bought sound effect library. What?
Okay. Yeah, the electricity begins to arc up and down the two rails faster and faster before a large lightning bolt flies out and strikes the kaiju across its back as it's rolling away from you. And immediately it comes out of its form, stabbing its two claws into the ground and letting out a fierce roar in pain. What do I want to do now? Okay. I'm going to kill Romeo Blue because I can. I'm kidding, I'm going to attempt to kill it. And in sheer reactionary anger, it's going to try and bring one of those claws down on top of Romeo. So that's 12. Plus 1. Oh yeah, that definitely hits Romeo Blue. It brings down a large claw over Romeo Blue, completely impaling its torso on the right side before practically cutting an entire arm off, and Romeo Blue begins to stagger, and the broken up radio feed comes over. Ursa, I don't think we're gonna have eject. And
Mother Emperor, is that you?
the Jaeger falls down. Nicholas comes over the comm. Ursa, we've got confirmation that Romeo's out of commission. We've got 2 life signs showing that they've ejected and are making their way to shore. But it seems like you might be on your own.
We can do this.
I'm gonna take this Jaeger and do something really stupid.
We need a really stupid counter.
Question,
I
did...
mean, in a way, depending on where you put the comma in that. Hello.
Did you stand up on your turn, Sky?
No.
Okay.
No, because the Stormcaster is a full action. I didn't think I
Well, you still have your movement. You could still stand up if you wanted to.
Oh, well then, yeah, I stood up.
Okay. Just
Standing
making
up.
sure.
Hopefully. Really? You motherfucker.
That was anticlimactic.
Jake, it is your turn. And I will let you know, since you're about 1, 2, 3, you're about 4 spaces away. About-ish. Yeah, about 4 spaces away. You can boost, which is going to take one of your 2 quick actions to move twice your speed. If you would like. Other options are you can, once you do that, you can try to grapple it, or you could try and ram it, or if you want any of your other options.
I want to get the sound effect to fucking work.
And that, everyone, is what the Stormcaster sounded like.
Oh, that's going to be the storm. All right, fine. So can I charge it and grapple it in the same move?
Yes. Fuck it. I say you're close enough to be able to move close enough without having to spend anything. Grapple is one quick action. And then, if you hit the little drop down arrow next to Strength Suite 3, you might like what you see. And for everybody else at home, there you go. I knew you'd like that.
I want to go Sub-Zero on his ass.
Well, because that Sub-Zero.
Coolant system turning him
Oh,
twice.
you were looking at the coolant system. I was looking at the strength suite, but that works too.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'll go with that one actually, yeah.
Okay. Can you do... Is there a way to just regular roll? I doubt so. Just do me an attack roll with any one of your weapons. I just need the roll number. I don't need the damage or anything. I just don't know what button will let you do that without doing a weapon. Okay, yeah, that's enough. To grapple it. You've got it grappled.
Okay. I will do the Karen push.
It says push, but this is the system I put in there, so you could literally pick up and throw a kaiju. If you want.
That.
It says push, but it means throw.
I'm picking him up with both mechanical arms, pistons and things giving off, and steam hissing off, and then just throwing it
Yep.
like a discarded bun.
Yeah, you,
Don't answer that.
I'm just gonna put Romeo Blue sideways and over here, because they're down. They're not even lined up with the grid anymore. Okay. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you, it's technically, should have warned you about this, but you probably don't really care. It was a full action, so you'll need to overcharge to do it, so you take 1 heat, which isn't bad. And yeah, this thing is bigger than any other kaiju you've ever seen in person, let alone heard of. And you've heard stories of Jaegers picking up and throwing kaiju that are usually on equal size or smaller than the Jaegers themselves, but this is a fucking category 4. This is the biggest Jaeger you've ever seen. And you just grab 2 pieces of its armor like the way that people pick up like giant snapping turtles so they don't get bit,
I'm
from like the front and the back. And you
giant
start,
snap.
yeah, you start lifting this thing up and over your head, and it's flailing and screeching and wailing. And you see UI warnings popping up on your HUD of 3D representations of the inner frame and workings of the Jaeger, and you see the different muscle fibers that are now there, blinking red, showing that they're engaged but very stressed. And with all your might, you just throw this thing. It said 5 spaces, right? 1, 2, 3. I don't like counting, so it's going to go up here. And it impacts with the... Right, actually, I'm sorry, you're the one throwing it. Which direction do you throw it?
I do not want to chuck it into that fucking water. I want to chuck it onto the dock.
Okay. Yeah, that's even better. You literally pick this thing up over your head and throw it into the docks. And it impacts...
Slides across the concrete of the dock, going almost all the way to the other end, flailing and trying to claw itself to stop it, and finally stopping at the very end, slightly bumping into one of the tying knots at the end and pushing a seagull off.
Oh, 2.
Fuck that seagull in particular.
Yeah, and as it gets up, it begins to stomp its 2 claws into the concrete, then causing cracks to spread wide throughout the surrounding area in an intimidating show of aggression as it roars back at you. And it's going to... I wish I could... I love that you just have the button there. Oh fuck, I can flip it horizontally. Yeah, it fucking turns around and looks at you. And look, you turn around and look back. And it is going to charge back up to you. I haven't hit you yet, have I? Let's try and change that. What do I want to hit you with? Yeah, it's gonna run up to you and it's going to immediately stop and spin to try and hit you with its tail. And yeah, I grabbed my unlucky die tonight, so that way maybe I didn't hit you all the time like I did last game. And it seems like I'm not gonna get to hit you at all, apparently. Yeah, I just, for the sake of it, I just rolled again. I just rolled 2 3s in a row. And you go to, I'm sorry, it goes to swing its tail around, in anger and frustration, and because it's up on the dock, you kind of just do a very Neo-esque duck under it. And I believe that was Jake's go. It ran. Romeo Blue's dead. Sky, it's your turn.
Let's see. Is it within?
Yeah, it's within melee range.
I'm gonna use the bear claws this time.
Okay. Yeah, the Stormcaster, two rails come back together. You flex your fingers once the sensation that you can move them comes back, and then you clench your fist and the segmented blades stick out. And you go to swipe, but because it's got the high ground, it lunges backwards just enough to miss. It was a quick action though, so you
So I
have,
can
yep,
do it
you can
again?
have,
Alright, do it again.
awesome. Bear claws. Alright, you hit the weak spot, cool. And by weak spot I mean the one that's taking the most damage. Yeah, you go to swing at it, and it thinks that it just barely has to scoot backwards in order to get away from you, but you've kind of gotten a foot up onto the dock area, and you use that leverage to push yourself forward just enough that the bear claws swiped straight through one of those giant claws, and one of its giant claws just cleaving the entire thing straight off, with blue
I think
viscera,
we just pissed it off.
flying everywhere. It doesn't really have eyelids, so it can't really have its eyes go wide, but it definitely reels back in pain at the loss of a limb. Let's see, you did. Yeah, it should be.
I
Should
feel
be
like
it
a
for
train
you.
driver.
Alright, NPC destroyed. Cool. It is going to. How much health does this thing have left? Cool. I haven't hit you once, and this thing's almost dead.
Not that good.
Do I pull this move out now? I do. Can both of you make a hull save for me? Okay.
Yeah, we can.
I think those are good rolls.
Those are very good rolls. Yes, you were fine. Luckily.
Is 17 a success?
But you had to beat a 14, so yes.
So is 21 a success?
In its anger, it lunges forward and tries to bite at the head of Ursa Raven, but the bony plates and jagged teeth that make up the maw of this creature just scrape off the metal without really doing anything. I almost just got to kill one of you, and I'm sad I didn't. Because I now can't use that move anymore.
Listen to me, Raleigh. You gotta.
Jake, it is your turn.
Okay, so is coolant? Oh yeah, coolant systems is a quick action. I can't help but notice.
If it says it is, it is.
I would like to coolant systems all over its face, and then smash the ice cube that results.
Yeah, go for it. It must succeed on an agility save. Your save target is an 11. and I'd say that missing a limb gives it difficulty.
So would I.
Yeah, no, it's, which one fails worse? Hold on.
Just spraying that coolant all over its face.
Yeah, it kind of ducks its head out of the way, but a majority of the body not being blocked by the huge claws takes a brunt of the ice and snow, and it becomes
Oh yeah, all over its
immobilized.
back, it's fine too, yeah.
Yeah, it is immobilized. Oh, it can't move now.
Yeah, that's generally what happens afterwards, yeah.
Alright, that was one quick action. What would you like to do now?
The bear claws are out on the right hand, so I can't use them, can I? Or can I?
I think
I don't know why I'm
both hands.
demonstrating as if you don't know the difference between right and left, but...
I think both arms have the bear claws out.
Okay, cool. Then I will attempt to pierce the soiled back.
Alright.
Does a 20 hit?
Yeah. How much damage you do? A lot. Oh, nice. No, it's not. Never mind. So that's 2, 3. Because it's unable to move. I mean, it's still kind of moving a little bit, but it looks like the majority of the body that it requires to move in space, like around you, like its limbs and body is mainly stuck, but the head is actively trying to get away, and you notice that, and you swipe straight for the head, doing 5 damage. A considerable amount of damage, gouging out one of its eyes as the claws scrape across the hide, and it just roars in pain. It's going to immediately try and, as soon as your arm is done swiping the blades across its head, it's going to attempt to bite at your hand. Yes, I finally rolled high. And you take 7 damage. Whoop-de-doo. That was essentially... yeah, and as it scrapes and bites down into the hand, because that was actually a reactionary thing it can do that I've been forgetting to do. Which one did you attack with? Yours? Because you only... I'm gonna assume it's yours. I'm gonna assume it's yours. Because you only attacked with one bear claw. But it doesn't really do any substantial damage that would warrant not being able to use the arm anymore, but you do feel the pain of the claws, or sorry, the teeth and bone plating dig into your hand and wrist area.
What is it with everyone hurting my hands today?
You asked for it.
Yeah, and as you're asking that in pain, I just rolled a natural 20, which is cool. It doesn't really do anything other than the fact that at the end of your next turn, oh, you don't really have any armor or anything, do you? You've got 2.
I've got 3 armor.
Did you subtract the 7 HP? Or technically it should be
No.
4. It should be 4, since, go ahead and do another 4 as well. Because you took the same amount of damage, but, with armor. Until your next turn, every attack will ignore armor. But that was its turn, so Sky, it's your turn now.
Like to kick it.
Okay.
Can you kick it? Yes, she can.
And that's a... that doesn't calculate nat 20s, that sucks. That was you nat 20'd as well. Which actually means, do the punch kick roll again, and we'll do the higher damage. That's how crits work. Excellent. And yeah, you...
Can a mech do a roundhouse kick?
Well, it's funny, the kaiju's kind of got your left arm, like forearm area, in its mouth, and instead of trying to pull it away with just your brute strength, you put your foot up and you try and kick it off. And how much damage you do again? 5? Gotcha.
I don't know. You can't take my purse.
It reels back after releasing your left arm out of its jaws, and just kind of roars in desperation at you. That was a quick action. Would you like to do anything else?
Yes, I would like to follow that up by punching it.
That hits. What does it hit though? It hits that. 3 damage. Yeah, you kind of punch it in the neck as it's reeling back, kind of advancing. I'll say that just for flavor reasons, you've kind of started pushing it back up on the land. It is going to pick up its remaining claw, which is difficult because it's kind of using it as support at this point, to try and swipe at you, and yeah, that's definitely gonna hit. Take 8 damage, all 8, because you are ignoring armor, and then I believe that's it. Quick action. Yeah, it's Jake, it's your turn.
Okay. I want to... Fuck off. Stormcaster it.
Okay. Because you're at point blank, you're gonna do it with a difficulty of 1. Because it's a ranged weapon.
Yep.
That doesn't seem right. No, that's right. You rolled a nat 1. You, trying to figure out if I want to do something for flavor. Yeah, probably, because you're probably going to kill it soon anyway. You go to activate the Stormcaster, but the damage to the left arm keeps it from transforming, and a bunch of errors pop up on the screen saying that the Stormcaster is unable to be used at this moment, at least with the left hand.
Dun, 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 dun.
If you want, because you can still overcharge for another quick action.
It's a bit of a risk, isn't it?
A little bit.
What do you think, wife?
Well, at this point we'd be up to 6 heat, right? So just use Storm Blaster.
D6 heat.
Yeah, they'll be rolling a d6.
So we could take 2 heat damage, potentially.
We're getting awful hot.
We knew that the moment you stepped in here.
So let you know, when you reach 8, it'll go back down to 0, and you take a core stress damage, which is that middle one, and then when you take a core stress, you roll a d6, and depending on what you roll, something negative happens. You don't instantly blow up. Unless you roll really bad. Really, really bad.
This thing's gotta be close to dead. So we gotta kill it before we overheat. Good.
Overcharging that.
Okay. Roll me a...
smile on his face.
Yeah.
Can I punch with bear? Well, punch. Can I apply bear claws to face?
Mm-hmm. Ah, nice. Oh, do not tell me that you... I love the poetic irony of the dice. Okay. You give it a good stab in the head with your bear claws, and the heat from it causes the skin under the armor to crackle and break, or crackle and hiss as you stab it in, and you're like, yeah, I stabbed it in the head, this thing's dead. And then it moves in a way that those segmented bits in the blades break the blades off, so you can reel back, and the blades are now protruding out of this thing's head, and it gives out a very gargled and muddied roar that I don't have the sound effect for, so here's the ungarbled and muddied version. It's still standing.
System's worse than George Michael.
Yeah, I was really hoping that was going to do it, but it didn't. Alright. In frustration, it's going to try and spin around again and hit you with its tail. And it's going to miss horrifically as you jump rope hop over it.
Heat damage or anything? Because we overcharged.
Oh, that's right. What did you roll on the... You roll a d6? Ooh, yeah. So put your heat at 3 out of 8. And then put your core stress up to 1. And can you both roll me a d6? Okay, don't worry, I'm only gonna count one of those.
Once!
I know, but you're... Just be glad, I'm not counting... Okay, what is exposed? I'm having... I have, like, so many things popped up. The alarms start going off, saying that the reactor's reaching critical levels. There are management systems that are kicking in to subdue it, so you'll be fine in the long run, but in the immediate time, the vents on the Jaeger are all open and venting hot steam and smoke.
As opposed to that cold steam.
Yeah. All damage taken... Hold on. Oh, okay, you have to take a full action to stabilize at whenever you... for whoever wants to. But until you stabilize, you will be taking double damage.
Did we set the Overwatch down yet, or is that still what?
No, the overcharge stays. So if you do it, if you...
Oops.
Well, you have 8 hit points before you take a structure damage.
Then it resets back.
Yeah. Structure and stress are about the same thing. They just do different things. But lucky for you, I don't hit you. So, the reactor's blaring that that you need to do something about the heat, or else the reactor's gonna melt down, and then before you can even react to the flashing lights in front of you, you see a giant lobster-like tail swinging at you, and you just hopscotch jump right over it.
Quick, change your channel!
But as you come back down, your Jaeger kind of... the movements are slowed and sluggish as it goes to stand back up. And, I believe it is Sky's turn.
Do we stabilize? Or do we hope one more hit will finish it off?
I think we should stabilize because we've been really unlucky with the dice, and we are due unluckiness on the dice.
Stabilize.
Okay. Yeah, stabilize. I don't believe you have to do anything. It just takes a full action to do.
Is that where all the panels are sort of... they were open, venting all this crap,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're closing one by one across the thing, and then it's doing that really cool thing where it stands up straight, and it's all like, yeah.
Yeah, when you stabilize, you enact emergency protocols to purge your mech system of excess heat, repair the chassis where you can, and yeah, like that. All the remaining vents open, and steam hisses out as the lights begin to flash slower and slower as you see gauges on your HUD slowly lower. While you're doing this, Sky, you're entering things in on panels and whatnot, and it's going to take one final probably swing at you, hopefully, and maybe I might do some structure damage.
So glad we stabilized.
Hey, I hate you.
Justified to stabilize.
It lunges forward, clamping onto your shoulder with its varied teeth, and does 7 damage.
14 would have been tremendous.
Well, I think I missed with the tail. You haven't got hit with the tail yet.
No, we're playing jump rope with it.
Yeah. But as it's biting, it tears off bits of panels and things as it goes flying off. Jake, I believe it's your go.
Probably.
Jake, I believe it's your go.
Bear Claws got broken off, right? So there's only one set left.
The segmented blades broke off, and as soon as you pulled back far enough, they extended back into position with more
So it's
more
like an
blades.
X-Acto knife.
Exactly like an X-Acto knife.
But he does have those blades still protruding from his skull.
He does.
I
Punch
would
him in
like
the blades.
take a step forward with a clenched fist and then just slam onto the blade so they pierce the way through.
Okay. Because this thing has blades sticking out of its head, I'm gonna let you do this with an accuracy.
Is that good?
Yes.
What accuracy do I apply?
1.
Right. Punch kick.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is 13 lucky?
Why the hell not? You walk up to it. It's screaming and railing, and blood and kaiju bits are flying
Can't see that.
everywhere. The bioluminescent bile just spilling down all over it from the removed claw, the gouged out eye, and the protruding blades. You walk up to it, and like you're... Shiv, how you want to describe how you kill this thing?
Have I got creative freedom?
I mean, I'd say, stay within punching one of the blades to kill it.
The Jaeger walks forward, slams the fist down onto the head, cracking the skull. Unfortunately, the body is still writhing and moving. The Jaeger grabs the middle blade and yanks it forward, pulling it through the creature's face, rending it in two.
Yeah, and it's as if a smaller bird-like creature with its head cut off. As you pull the blade through, it splices the head in twain, and the body continues to shake as it starts to stop receiving the signal from the now deceased brain. And it's...
What about the secondary brain?
Oh yeah, that tail tries to hit you again. I'm kidding. It's slowly... it goes to stand up with its claw, only for the claw to miss, and it just crumples onto the ground. You start pulling yourself back into the moment. You're, sorry, just lost my train of thought. You start stabilizing different systems. You're making sure that the Jaeger won't blow up within the next 5 minutes.
As we do that, I say, Guess he didn't pass customs.
Yes, who's the man for a week?
Need to be a man for once.
And as you have this conversation between yourselves in your head, you slowly look off into the distance over the city with the Shadow Dome breaking up the skyline. And you think, yeah, there was a Category 4 today. There's probably going to be more in the future. But you just killed it. And you're still standing. And so is the Jaeger program. And that...
Ursa the Shadow Dome. Guess who's going to be the man for a week?
I don't know what that means.
Well, don't worry. You'll hear all about it.
Can't wait. And that is where we're going to end the Pacific Rim one-shot.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead.
Jake, take me like a man.
Dun.
Thank you all for joining us. I had a lot of fun because I know way too much about this universe and movie that I got to make up stuff for. I got to GM for the first time, which was interesting. And I got to feel what it feels like to eye roll 50 times within 3 hours. So,
Yeah, you did.
Now you know how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Without further ado, Miss Hearts, where can we find you? Do you do stuff? What do you do?
So something new. I doubt anyone here is in Austin, but if you are, come to Elysium. Yes, that is the name of the place. Name of the bar. Bar here, named Elysium. And I am performing in it tomorrow night. I am in the Boys of Austin Anarchy show. And my performance is actually an audition to be in the Boys of Austin. So, send good juju. If you are in the Austin area, stop by and cheer me on. I'm sure that'll help me get in as well. And then you can find me anywhere as Ms. Hertz. Or if you need graphic design or promotional products, go to gibopromo.com.
I'll just say now, I apologize in advance for making it difficult for you to stand.
I mean, Shiv, I'd offer you to plug yourself, but you kind of just would plug Table of Horrors.
No, I won't be doing that for a week.
Shiv.
Yeah, Vampire Masquerade this week, Thursday.
Mhm.
It's in Western time zone. London by Gaslight. Our special guest, Psychshire. Next week, it's London by Gaslight again. Same day, Thursday. And Oxford by Night on a day.
Yeah,
Friday.
Fridays?
a week from Friday. So it's about 2 weeks' time.
So it's
yeah.
going to be 2
It'd be
days
a
in a
week.
row we'll have.
Oh, yeah.
Not this week, next week.
Yeah, next
Correct.
week, Thursday and Friday, Vampire. Yep, cool. Thank you all for allowing me to do this, and thank you, Miss Hearts, for putting up with the both of us.
Thank you for doing it.
But before we can go out, yeah.
We'll go with Raiden on the Nerd Asylum who are playing VTM.
Okay, cool. But before we can do that, Shiver, can you say the line?
I would be my absolute pleasure. Oh shit. Let me set up the raid so it's all smooth. Play. We can't go Raiden.
Why not?
Quitz just said, no. Oh, maybe they're not accepting raids, so we'll try someone else. I can type. No, it's just not going to let us raid.
No, we're not raiding tonight.
Oh well.
Well then, Shiv,
You want the
give us the
line?
line.